draft our bylaws. So I think we would want an opinion from staff to go over everybody else to see if it is viable, if we can create a viable on this aspect. And then of course I think it has to go back to council to as a whole to discuss the option to see if that's where they would want to go. But I think this type of presentation, from students, people, as we go forward, and it's a great discussion, it's a great discussion, that's what we need to do. Important things about climate change can't be stated enough. As you stated, the city is one of the leaders, and we've done a lot in that space. But there's always one leader. I'm not sure if this is a fully viable option, but I'm certainly going to have staff go back and look at it and come back with their opinions on if the bylaw would be suitable or how it could be constructed, and then have a discussion with my colleagues at council to go forward. Thank you.
So can I take it you're moving on to that text?
I'll move that.
Is there a second? Madam Chair, Mr. Turton?
Motion is to receive the information, have some review the information, and see, check it against the legislature's controls and policies, and see if it is even possible, and if it is bring that discussion to council to see if they like anything.
Sure. Yeah, I think we should also have a chance to ask questions before we vote on it. Councilor Chase.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. Good presentation. And I shared the concern that these people have articulated today. I think it behooves every one of us to do anything that we can do personally to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and help mitigate the impacts of climate change. There's a lot of things that can be done in addition to this initiative. So it would be a good start. I agree with Councilor Grandy. There may be a jurisdictional issue involved, and we get a staff report that outlines what we can and cannot do. However, that said, there's also the opportunity to pursue with fuel retail, voluntary compliance, taking up the initiative. And I don't see why someone might not do that. I mean, automobiles and other uses of other consumer uses that increase greenhouse gases can be a voluntary thing. We're all involved. Some matters like driving a car is a necessity for some people. That doesn't mean that they wouldn't subscribe to initiatives that reduce greenhouse gas emissions. So, yeah, I really give you full credit for raising this to council and to see what can be done.
Outstanding. Well, an A+ from Councilor Chase. Councilor Keenan.
Thanks, Mr. Chair. Yeah, again, thanks for coming in. I really enjoy seeing the youth of our community taking initiative, and you're stepping up and saying we need to do something about this, and we're talking about it. So well done there. I do have a question. Have you had any discussion with the province related to this? Because this, Councilor Chase alluded to jurisdictional, and to me this sounds like a provincial jurisdiction when we're starting to regulate things like petroleum use and those sorts of things, and you know, things like warning labels and so on. It certainly sounds like a provincial issue. Have you discussed it with them?
We have not been able to discuss the province at this time. However, I can say that I've been in contact with former municipal mayor of Moncton, Brian Murphy. I've talked for some time, and I'm asking him with regards to questions like what's been mentioned for what jurisdiction. However, there have been pre-assessing cases in other provinces such as Nova Scotia and Ontario. So we were not sure about New Brunswick, so we'll have to find out that for sure. But in other provinces, similar things have been done. But that is something that I do not see the province being entirely opposed to.
Right. We always need to be cognizant of putting our retailers at a disadvantage to those in other areas, be it anything of any regard. So it's certainly something we need to take into account. And I would certainly encourage you to talk with the petroleum the petroleum industry itself, the petroleum retailers, like it's called. I think a discussion with them is warranted here to see if you can develop a partnership that allows everybody to be on the same page with this, because we at the end of the day, we are balancing all the time the impact on the climate with the requirement for us to be able to provide a livelihood for people and to nurture our economy as well. So I think it's important to balance those two as we move through.
Excellent, well said, Councilor Bean. Next on my list is the Deputy Mayor, and then Councilor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. You cited the new issues and regulations, whether we can consider by law, we have to talk to the province about that. Actually, we can do that. I think above and beyond that, I think it's a great idea. And this little small step, we can't turn the taps off tomorrow because it'll throw the world into a depression like we've never seen before. But these little small steps are the ones that's going to get us there. So I really appreciate all the work you've done on this. It's nice to see the university spread over some small ideas like this. You know, all these little small ideas work together. And then you see the picture of the big fish going after the little fish, and then behind that, the little fish forming the big fish. So I think this is what's going to happen. Little projects like this are going to form that mighty fish. So good job. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councilor Kerr?
Thank you. I like it. I think it's a great idea, and I like it this very much too. You showed it on there, the labels on the cigarette package, and that's proven to be effective in reducing smokers and that. So I really like that idea. I like the fact that you came here today, you did the presentation with us, and I second the motion because I would really like to see our staff look into it, see what are the legalities of it, how that could in fact happen. Because there have to be changes to legislation, like how could we make this thing happen? And I'd like to take it a step further. Once we have a stamped report on that, I'd like to see it go to the Cities Association, the Union Municipalities Association, and Friends Home Association. If there's merit and there's warrant here and we're able to do that, if it means some kind of change in legislation, we could use those three provincial bodies to kind of help get this thing passed. Because although I like to do Fredericton as a leader in this, and here in St. Thomas, you're here in our city, and that's the first step. But I think as a council that we may be able to take it a little bit further to take it to these other bodies to get them in line too, the other cities and municipalities around the province to get them involved with it. If that's at all possible, but I think we do need to get a legal opinion on that to see what we can do. Thank you for coming.
Excellent point. It's certainly the leadership role that we can always see the city of Fredericton take in that position. So we have a motion on the floor in front of us. Oh, sorry, Councilman Connie.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, I'm not on vacation, so I can't go back. You know, I don't know what we can or can't do. I think this staff will tell us that. But I mean, I do like the fact that obviously you believe in something and that you want to bring it forward to people who want to listen. And I mean, no matter what happens, I mean, the fact that you're able to, I guess, get your message out, because there's a lot of cancer, is positive to start with anyway. So, I mean, more importantly, I mean, when people have ideas or concerns or issues, it's important to do something. And you're doing something here today, so that's important.
Excellent, thank you. All those in favor of the motion as presented? Opposed? It's passed. One passing comment from the chair. I like this presentation. I've read the report, followed up with the website, read some of the articles about the post that the person who's behind all this has written. And I would refer you to another TED Talk, because I know he's done a TED Talk, and it's the one by Thomas Goods, who's the Wired magazine editor. He did a piece on medical data and how to design medical data to change behavior more effectively. And I think it would allow you to not just combat some of the cognitive biases in a negative way, but also in a positive way to change behaviors to positive, not just negative, not using control. Take a look. And thank you again very much for coming in and presenting today.